Hey, everybody. Welcome to Texas 3 Steps. This is Quentin. We got a great episode today. Tyler, what we got going on?
Yeah, we got a great show today. We're joined by my good friend from Albuquerque, Matt Powell. He's going to be talking some NFL with us. And then we'll be joined later by another good friend of mine, We got Edgar coming in to talk some MLB. That'll be cool. I'll definitely dip, though. So that'll be E and the boys talking some MLB. We're going to be doing a preview of the NFL. We're going to be doing WOP pick EMS for the NFL. We're going to be doing WOP pick EMS for college football. And then we'll be doing an MLB and NBA update, and we'll call the show. No Q stories this week and no rant time this week. Unfortunately, we have so much to talk about with NFL. We thought it would just be a little bit too long. So that will be it today. NFL, MLB, college football, NBA, yada, yada, all that stuff.
Let's get it.
Let's get it. We're going to start with some NFL. We're going to kick it off with NFL today. NFL, we got week 1 this week. And before we even get to the first games, it has been just news after news. We had Von Miller went down this week. Huge injury for the Broncos. It sounds like he's done for the year. Huge. So Broncos are basically going to be tanking at this point.
Nah,
we got some. Please. No chance. What, Drew Lock by himself? Who else they got on that sorry ass team?
Hey, they got Jerry Jeudy now.
Yeah. Jerry Judy's going to have to catch every ball. He's going to be like DeAndre Hopkins was for Texans. Yeah. But anyways, too soon? Besides Von Miller going down, we had a bunch of big-time signings this week. You know, all these NFL teams rolled up with the Brinks truck, and they're bringing wads of cash for these guys.
Wads.
We had Pat Mahomes had a massive deal, highest paid QB. Who else we got?
Deshaun Watson.
Prescott? Oh, wait.
Not Dak Prescott.
Yeah.
We got Deshaun Watson. We got Jalen Ramsey, Jamal Adams. Few other big names have gotten some big deals. But Deshaun Watson is kind of one that stands out. He just got his deal today, right, Matt?
Yes, sir. Nice 4-year, 140, I think.
Yeah, nice, solid deal. Solid. Yeah, they got their boy paid, and it seems like, you know, things are changing down there, or technically right here, because I'm in Houston, right here in Houston. How's the Texans looking right now, Matt? Hell of a translate.
Like dog shit, bro.
I tried to hype y'all up, but the truth is the truth.
Wait, but they got rid of DeAndre Hopkins for
a used napkin.
Yeah, who they bring in? You got Randall
David
Cobb
Johnson.
and what's his name from the Rams?
Brandon Cooks.
Yeah,
he's had concussion problems.
Cooks.
Hey, you can cook that Cobb.
What?
Cook that Cobb.
Yeah, like Bill O'Brien seems like he's just destroying that team, isn't he?
It's like he's trying to lose, and just like Watson keeps preventing it from happening.
Well, he couldn't in the game against the Chiefs.
He wasn't able to overcome the coaching mishaps in that one.
Yeah.
It's like
you're up 21-0. You got the ball on your side. You kick it on. You go for it on 4th down when you have 4th and 10. The next time you're on their 20-yard line, it's 4th and 3, and you don't go for it.
That's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it plays out.
Let's see if it works out for him.
Bro, it's like Bill O'Brien is seeing the Jaguars organization. He's like, I'm going to take y'all on by myself. I'm going to be the worst possible person in football. I'm going to be head coach and GM, and I'm going to ruin this franchise. Let's do it.
It seems like a match made in heaven, Bill O'Brien and the Jaguars.
Oh, wouldn't that be amazing? It'd be like purgatory for him. Send his ass over there and have him coach there for a few years.
Please.
He would enjoy it.
I'm surprised.
We'll take the used napkin he traded for Hopkins as coach.
Shoot,
It'd probably take all
maybe
there.
that used napkin could coach, and he can go out and start running some routes. if he wants to
and
ruin that receiver squad.
Hopkins got paid too.
He's just waiting for the strategic time to put that used napkin on the field and trip up Tom Brady or something.
Wait, is he going to have a team made out of SpongeBob's three friends? The used napkin, the chip, and the penny?
The gang's all here.
Which the penny is what Bill O'Brien should be getting paid.
Bill O'Brien traded the penny to Watson. The used napkin is definitely Duke or David Johnson, and I'm not sure who Chip is yet. Maybe Cutie on a concussion protocol.
Yeah, Brandon Cooks.
Brandon Cook on all the concussions they get.
Yeah,
because the chips are easily breakable.
Yeah,
bro. Have they added anyone on that offensive team to make them better, or have they just lost players?
Yeah, they added Randall Cobb and Brandon Cooks.
But Brandon Cooks is probably going to be inconsistent throughout the year. You think Randall Cobb is actually going to be a good player for them?
Wait, you said Randall Cooks. I want to know who this guy is.
I said Brandon Cooks and Randall Cobb. Do you think Randall Cobb is going to be a good player for them?
Randall Cooks.
I think he's going to match up well in the slot. I mean, it's been a while since he's had a good year.
Yeah, it's like you probably want to bring in some fresh blood, not some old-ass receiver. But
no, you want the guy with concussions.
Yeah.
That's exactly who you give up one of the top 2 or 3 receivers in.
How many times has Brandon Cooks been traded?
Or released?
I think this is his 4th team. He went from the Saints to the Patriots, I think to the Rams, now to the Texans.
Jeez Louise.
Yep.
He's put up good numbers every year
exactly.
last year.
Let's talk about the defense, Matt. J.J. Watt was hurt a lot last year. What's new?
Hurt every year.
How's he looking? Is he 100% healthy coming in?
Hurt.
I mean, every year he comes in healthy and ready to go, and then by week 3 he gets re-injured. I mean, I think they made a mistake when they kept him and traded
Clowney.
Yeah, thank you for that. I mean, but with our other Whitney Merciless and then the rest of our defense is actually solid, especially we actually have a decent corner in Bradley Roby.
Yeah, defensively, I think that will be the side of the ball that kind of keeps you guys in games, it seems like. Yeah.
Honestly, I think they need to get rid of J.J. Watt. He's too slow. He can't keep up.
Really? Wow.
What? JJ had 16 sacks in 2018.
Yeah,
2018.
Last year he had
2018. He had
4 in 8
16
games.
QBs outrun him in 16 games.
He had 4 in 8 games last year.
I think he's still serviceable. He's no longer elite by any means.
Yeah,
but
he needs to switch to nose guard, because when I D tackle, he's losing the end every time. He can't contain the end, the edge.
Yeah, that's actually probably really smart to move him inside and try to bring in a young guy on the end. But Bill O'Brien's not doing that.
No,
let's put J.J. Watt. Let's have him cover some guys in the slot. Why don't we do that?
Yeah, Bill O'Brien.
Instead, they spent a 2nd-round pick on a defensive tackle.
Yeah, he would go trade his 1st rounder for Vince Wilfork.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Retired for how many years?
Matt, what are some?
He pulled off those overalls. Though.
He did. Damn right. But Matt, what are some of the draft picks they brought in to kind of help this team? Is there any notable names on there?
There was no notable offensive lineman.
So Deshaun's gonna be running for his life.
Of course.
Of course.
Y'all
exactly.
gave up everybody for Laramie Tunsil.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, I know. No, I mean, we mostly just picked some defensive players.
Yeah, and they.
I guess our most notable would be, as he mentioned earlier, that D tackle Ross Blacklock.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
he's an okay player.
He's a solid player. Solid.
Yeah, I watched him at TCU. He was okay.
Damn. So Texans, they lost a lot of key players. It seems like they didn't draft too many to kind of replace these spots. Looking at the outlook of the year, Are we saying that they're probably not going to do as well as last year?
I mean, if they didn't have Deshaun Watson, I'd honestly put money without having to sweat about it that they'd go 0-16.
Oh, jeez.
I mean, they lost key players, as you said. They didn't replace them, and they didn't try to fill in any holes that they have. Like, we have a weak O-line, and then they spent like 1 6th-round draft pick on an O-line?
4th rounder.
Overpaid the shit out of Laramie Tunsil. Didn't even have a good year.
Yeah. He got called for a bunch of holding penalties.
Drafted a washed-up QB, even though we already have 3, and Duke Johnson's solid, and so is Lamar Miller.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man. I don't know.
And this is why we don't talk about the Texans.
Yeah.
'Cause there's nothing
Yeah.
to talk about.
Hopefully they do better than we expect. But if you were, let's kind of go around. If y'all would predict how many games they're going to win and if they make the playoffs, I think they're going to win 8 games, and I think they might sneak into playoffs.
Seven teams this year.
Yeah, 7 teams. What do you think, Q?
I'm gonna go 8-8, 9-7.
That range?
Oh wait, yeah, that range. Yeah.
Playoffs and no playoffs. Are they going to miss it barely, or
I think they
barely
miss
make
it.
Okay. Cody?
Come back to me. I'm pulling up their schedule.
Matt, what do you think?
I think 7-9, and I think the playoffs, it depends, and if Phillip Rivers shows up. If Phillip Rivers shows up and competes at an elite level, no chance. Phillip Rivers plays like he did last year, I think we sneak in in that wild card spot.
I'm trying to think like what other teams are going to be fighting for that wild card spot. I guess probably the Patriots this year.
Steelers, Browns, maybe a little bit.
Yeah, I think the NFC.
Jaguars.
No. No. I think the NFC is a little bit stronger than the AFC, so there may be
It
a
is.
spot open for Texans.
Yeah, I think the Titans win that division though. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're definitely a top heavy this year with the Ravens, the Chiefs, and I'd say maybe the Titans. And then after those 3, it really drops off in the skill level.
Hey,
I'm
man,
going to say the Texans win 7 games. They have a tough schedule.
and not make the playoffs. Okay.
Yeah. They have at Kansas City, Baltimore, at Pittsburgh, Minnesota. Those are their first 4 games of the year. Then they play Green Bay. Later on, they play Green Bay, New England, at Detroit.
Detroit will be better this year.
Detroit.
Stafford's healthy.
Yeah, Stafford was on his
Stafford's hopefully, and they picked up a lot on defense too.
And they picked up AP, Adrian Peterson. How about that?
Aging Peterson.
What?
Man.
Aging Peterson.
Aging
Adrian
Peterson. He's still going to get some good carries from him and be a good role player for them.
He's going to be like their 3rd string running back.
Yeah, instead of all day AP, it's all gray.
Yeah.
No, I think he'll do something for them. Maybe a few influential carries a game, hopefully.
Yeah.
As long as it's not his parental influence.
Houston Rockets all switch mentality.
Did you say switch?
Yeah, he took the Houston Rockets all switch mentality, applied it to his children.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
He needs to be applying that to himself to get that training up. Get back to being a good player. Shoots.
Don't make me get that tree branch.
Oh, jeez. Golly. Well, yeah, Texans, we think they're going to be on the edge of making the playoffs. So let's move on to a team that is probably going to make the playoffs, but obviously they think they're going to win the Super Bowl every damn year. We're talking about the Cowboys.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the
Longhorns.
Super Bowl, sir. I didn't say national championship.
Well, you still think that anyway, so.
True. But let's talk about the boys. Q, give us a little preview of how you think the season's going to go, what this team's looking like, all that. all that jazz.
So I'll start with some good. Obviously, the receiving core and the offense looks incredible. The receiving core is just going to be ridiculous. I mean, come on, you bring CeeDee Lamb into a group of already 2 1,000-yard receivers. I mean, you could throw a freaking trash can out there and still be able to complete a pass.
Which is basically Dak Prescott.
And that's why they haven't paid Dak.
JK.
I'm a big Dak fan, but I'm not as much of a Dak rider as some of these people out there. I think he's
Cody.
easily a top 7.
What? I don't worship Quentin's the main Dak guy. I don't talk about him
I'm
nearly
just
as much as
playing.
Quentin
I'm just
does.
playing.
I think Dak's a very, very good QB, and I think he's only been getting better every year, pretty much now.
Dak rider.
And I think that, especially with all the tools around him, and actually he doesn't have a freaking coach, Jason Garrett, holding him back anymore. You got all the tools in offense that you could have a spectacular season, at least offensively. I mean, I know they had a good offensive season last year, but it could be even better.
Well, he should have a good season.
Yeah, he should. Now
it's the Cowboys.
Yeah, now it's the Cowboys, and anything can happen. And there's some red flags that are on the offense, actually, a little bit. And that's the offensive line. They don't have a lot of depth, and they're already getting injuries there. It was Lyle Collins, right, Cody?
Yeah.
Yeah, Lyle Collins is hurt.
Travis Frederick retired.
Yeah, Travis Frederick retired. And Joe Looney's a serviceable backup center, but he's not Travis Frederick. And Travis Frederick's all-pro, perennial all-pro center. And so that O-line is a fragment of what it used to be, and that worries me a little bit. But, I mean, you still have Zeke, and as much as you want to go off on Zeke, maybe he's not quite as good as he was when he first came in the NFL. They also have Pollard, who has a lot of explosiveness. And so the offense is sharp. Now, another part that really, really worries me, though, is the secondary. And you can knock around the hints of Earl Thomas possibilities and stuff like that. Now, if you, I believe teams have to wait till after the first week if they want to sign him, and it's some type of clause. I would have to do a little bit more research on it. But they just freed up $8 million, and I'm thinking that might be what it's for, because they just had to bring in Brandon Carr, and Brandon Carr might be your opening day safety.
Oh God.
Yeah.
He's back?
Yes, Brandon Carr is back.
Oh.
And yeah, so it's either going to be Brandon Carr, Chidobe Awuzie, Thompson. There's not very good names on that side of the ball. I mean, unless Donovan Wilson comes up and surprises people, but
Diggs.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, you got Diggs. So Trayvon Diggs, right? Trayvon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I always forget names. Now Trayvon Diggs, he's been playing incredible throughout camp. He's looking like he's well worth that second round pick. I mean, the Cowboys got very lucky in this draft when they had CeeDee, and then Trayvon, who was also they had a great first round grade on him, and they both fell to him. And so it turned out to be an amazing draft for him. I mean, all around, they look pretty solid, but it's the Cowboys, and we know every single time they get hyped up, something stupid happens and they fall apart. I don't necessarily know if it's going to be the same thing with Mike McCarthy now, because Mike McCarthy's way better at game management than Jason Garrett. But
no.
Oh, you don't think so?
No, Jason Garrett's an elite game manager. What are you talking about?
Yeah, let me just run up the middle 1,500 times in a game.
Exactly. Best there is.
Yeah, right.
Simple.
Hey, that's Bill O'Brien's strategy.
But yeah, man, I think they have the pieces. They definitely have the pieces to be a very, very good team this year. And I picked them as a playoff team. Obviously, the Eagles are going to give them a little bit of fits, but I don't think the Eagles are all that talented this year. They have a lot of injuries, and the receiving core is diminished, just as it was last year, even though they still ended up making the playoffs, and the Cowboys faltered down the line.
Yeah, and the Cowboys have it locked down at QB. Eagles are so questionable at that. Carson
QB?
Wentz
Because he's always hurt.
can't
Yeah.
ever stay healthy. We might see Jalen Hurts for most of the year. And
Yeah,
who
I
knows
mean-
how good he'll be.
Yeah, Wentz was already hurt in training camp. I mean, he has soft tissue. He
Yeah.
has soft tissue injury, and I mean, he's going to be back for week 1. But how much can you even trust him? I mean, they wouldn't have spent that second round pick on Hurts if it wasn't. I mean, if they didn't have their own doubts about him, even after paying him, that shows you how stupid the Cowboys are for not paying Dak, because the Eagles went and already paid their freaking QB, who's not even on the field half the time.
Wow. It's amazing. So
Yeah.
you're saying, let's rewind this back a little bit. You're basically hinting at that Cowboys are going to win the division. Are we all kind of agreeing on that? Because I think they're going to win the division too.
Now, I think they will, and my instinct as just a person who covers football and not just as a person who's a Cowboys fan, I would think that the roster speaks for itself and that they should win the division. Now, as a Cowboys fan, I'm very, very aware that something very, very stupid could happen, and we could end up being like 4-12.
No, I don't think that's gonna happen. I think the worst possible scenarios. I think you guys underachieve and go like 9-7, maybe 8.
That team is too good to lose more than 8 games this
That's
year.
how I feel too. But I've been
Jason Garrett would find a way.
Jason Garrett would totally find a way.
Thank God his ass has been fired.
Yeah, and there's a couple other different interesting polls that are in this team. I mean, you have Kellen Moore coming on his second year, and this would be the first time in Mike McCarthy's ever coaching tenure of his whole career coaching in the NFL that he's not calling the plays. And so I don't know how much of a leash that he's going to give Kellen. I don't know how far along he's like, all right, I'm not going to let this guy control my destiny here. I'm going to take over myself, because even Jason Garrett did that last year, even after Kellen Moore was the talk of NFL for at least like the first half of football. And so that's another thing that could be really weird about it. I mean, I'm thinking
until that Jets game.
Yeah, until the Jets game. I'm thinking that they're about an 11-win team.
11-win team?
Yeah.
I'm actually going to be a little bit more optimistic than you, and I can't believe I'm doing this with the Cowboys, because most of the time I'm annoyed by them, but I'm going 12 wins.
Nice.
How about that? Cody, what are you thinking?
9 wins, but they still win the division.
Cody's being pessimistic.
Until they prove me otherwise.
They got second in the division last year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, the Eagles.
They found a way to lose.
13-3.
What?
Wait a minute, guys.
We're in 11 to 13 wins, but I think they're going to do 13-3.
Wow.
Dang, I like that.
That's amazing.
Wow.
I mean, I think their schedule's going to line up for it too. They don't got to play any number 1 teams.
They really do. They really do have a pretty favorable schedule this year.
Yeah, they match up great against Seattle.
Yeah, they always play Seattle good. Last year they absolutely destroyed the Rams, and that's who they open up with on Sunday night. And they got Falcons, Seahawks, Browns, Giants, Cardinals. That's going to be a great game.
Cardinals, yeah.
And then you got Washington, no names. You got the Eagles, obviously twice. You got Steelers on that schedule, Vikings, and the Ravens. But other than that, and the 49ers. But other than that, it's a bunch of pancake teams. Now,
yeah, I mean, just the Ravens, 49ers, and then maybe the Rams.
Yeah, I mean the Vikings are a solid team, but I don't know. I mean, that last year when they played them, that was Dak's best game that he had in his career, most efficient wise, and Jason Garrett ruined that game for him. So
shocker. Shaka.
And another thing too, actually, their special teams last year might have been. I think it actually was statistically the worst in Cowboys history, along with the worst average starting field position in the league last year. And so they
wait. Sorry, you said the worst in the league last year, even worse than the fucking Bucks.
Yeah,
with Jameis throwing 30 picks.
Yes.
Yeah, starting field position. Yeah, it's terrible, right?
Wow. It's terrible.
Yeah, it's awful, and people don't realize that when they talk about the Cowboys and their struggles last year, and it was just a poorly managed team, man. All across the board, it was just poorly managed. Like if they missed, I don't know how many field goals did they miss last year? 10 or 12 or something like that. They lost.
Maher was horrible.
Yeah, they lost like 5 games within 7 points. It was just not. things that went right for them at all. It was just one of those years where they just had the most basic principles of football that destroyed them.
No, what have they had done to kind of address some of those problems, especially kicking?
Oh,
they got a new
got
kicker,
Greg
right?
the leg.
Craig the leg, nice.
I mean, Kai Forbath came in last year and was perfect throughout the last end of the season, but they didn't freaking replace. What is his name? I always forget his name. Brett Maher.
Yeah,
they didn't replace Brett Maher until freaking like week 9, after he was the worst kicker statistically in like 10 years.
Yeah, they waited forever to replace him, but then they go and replace Fairbairn Fairbairn in the
Forbath.
Yeah, sorry, that's the Texans kicker.
Yeah,
that's what I feel like. I'm pretty sure Fairbairn's for the Texans.
Yeah.
But yeah,
well, y'all should go after Forbath because Fairbairn, he's had his ups and downs.
I like Fairbairn. Compared to who we had historically, Fairbairn's pretty good.
Go get Adam Vinatieri.
Vinny's gonna be playing until he's 50.
He will.
That's amazing.
No, he's not the starter anymore.
He's not even the starter anymore?
No.
What?
Yeah.
Wow. So he's just collecting that check and not playing?
I don't know. Let me look it up.
He probably deserves that, honestly.
Yeah, he's a free agent.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I need him, since he's not doing anything, I need him to get on the Pat McAfee show.
I need him to come on this show.
Well, yes, but we're not there yet, Cody, obviously.
Yes, we are.
Hey, Vinny, if you're listening, why don't you join the show?
Yeah, come on, Vinny.
You're one of our few listeners.
Come on.
Yeah, we want to talk to you about Pat McAfee.
Not about you, just Pat McAfee. So Cowboys, we're thinking 9 to 13 wins. That's kind of range we're thinking.
I
think that's a fair range.
I think something has to go.
How far in the playoffs are we thinking?
Yeah.
What's up?
Oh, I was just saying, I think something awful has to happen for them not to be a playoff team at the minimum.
How far do y'all think they're going?
Me? You want hopeful Quentin, or you want
Yeah, do hopeful and pessimistic.
All
You
right.
can do both.
All right. Well, the hopeful one in me thinks that this team's talented enough to at least make like conference championship game. Now, pessimistic Quentin says this team might lose in the wild card round. So,
Dang, that's a bit of a swing.
it is a bit of a swing. So,
What are y'all thinking, Cody and Matt?
I'll give my optimistic. My optimistic is that they lose in the Super Bowl. But more than likely, I think they find a way to lose in the second round, the divisional round.
And Matt, what are you thinking?
I think second round. I don't see them beating like the San Francisco in the playoffs.
I can see that.
I think they need one more year under McCarthy, and then I think they'll be able to pull it off.
I can see that.
Yeah, I think they're on the
close
verge
game.
of something special, and I hate to admit it, but they are. They've got a very good team. I don't think they're going to pull off in the first year with McCarthy, like you said. But that's a tough ask.
Yeah, I think if they would have fired, I don't even remember their coach's name, Gary.
Clown
Yeah, Clown Boy. Like mid-season last year, and then had the new coach this year, got McCarthy or someone else in the middle of the season. Then I think they would be able to go to a conference championship or a Super Bowl this year.
I can see that.
Yeah, I think so. I have them going divisional. Optimistic they can make the Super Bowl, but that's a big if. I don't know if that's going to happen.
They won't stop Pat Mahomes in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, they don't.
I don't think anyone.
I don't
can
think their
at this
secondary
point.
is good enough. That is my problem. I think that their offense can hang with anybody in the league. I think that they have a great front seven, but their secondary, I think, when it comes down to it in the playoffs, is going to ruin them.
Yep.
Agreed.
That's what
I feel
happens
like-
every time.
Against KC, you need to have the stronger line. Like your defense doesn't matter as much because no matter, even if they're like Patriots level elite, they're not going to stop Pat Mahomes and all his weapons that he has.
Yeah.
Like what is his receiving core? Travis Kelce,
Tyreek Hill.
Tyreek Hill, the other one too.
Sammy
like
Watkins?
Sammy Watkins, yep.
Sammy Watkins, Bills, yeah, him.
Yeah,
I agree.
the Chiefs are loaded, and I think they have a lot of success coming their way and potentially a lot of awards. I think that kind of brings us to what we wanted to talk about next. We're going to make some early, very, very early predictions for a lot of these different things. And the first one we want to start out with is the MVP trophy, which I think we all kind of have an idea of who we might choose. But let's start with Cody. Who do you want? Who do you think is going to be the MVP?
Patrick Mahomes.
Okay, Quinn, what you think?
I'm gonna go
The
Russell
police
Wilson.
are coming after you.
You're going to go Russ?
I'm gonna go Russ. I really want to either go like if I had to rank them, it'd be Russ, Pat Mahomes, and Dak. Because I think
So
Dak's
all
gonna have an
QBs?
insane passing year. Yeah, I think it's all gonna be QBs. But I'm gonna go with Russ.
Matt?
See, I feel like the safe play would be Mahomes, but I just feel like after not this coming up year, but next year, he's going to lose weapons just because his contract's too big. So I think I'm going to go with what Quinn said. I think I'm going to go with Dak.
Woo!
Wow.
Hell yeah!
I'm agreeing with Cody. I'm going with Mahomes on this one. I think they're just too low. But I can see Dak going number 2. I don't think Lamar Jackson is going to have as great of a year.
I don't think so.
No,
think that's-
Lamar is the GOAT. Christian.
No, he's not. I really don't see Lamar like putting up the numbers he did last year. I think he's going to put up a little bit more turnovers and stuff because I think defenses are starting to figure him out. And kind of, well, not really.
He's hard to figure out,
'cause-
but yeah.
Yeah, but they're starting to get a little bit to make it a little bit more difficult. He's not going to have as much of a cakewalk where he's just running and spinning past guys left and right.
Exactly.
And they're running this insane triple option where they bring in RG3 at the same time.
Hey, that's
shit
a
like that.
Heisman backfield right there.
The triple Heisman.
The triple Heisman. Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. But I have Mahomes win the MVP because he's going to have so many weapons to throw to the whole year. I think he's going to be also more consistent than Dak, I think. I think there might be a few games where Dak kind of doesn't play as well. And then Mahomes is going to go to the Super Bowl. I think that's my guess. But speaking of Super Bowl predictions, who do y'all think is going to make the Super Bowl and who do y'all think is going to win the Super Bowl?
Who's starting this?
Let's go Matt on this one.
I'm going to have to play it safe. And I don't know about the NFC because it's either going to be the repeat of last year with the Niners again. I could see. I don't know. I'm gonna go this. I'm gonna say it's the Chiefs versus the Saints. I think Drew Brees is gonna announce his retirement mid-season, have a nice tour, and pull it off like Peyton Manning.
Oh, you got the Saints winning it?
See, I don't know because the Chiefs' defense got worse. I want to say
That's true. Slightly.
See that's where like Patrick Mahomes going to do a lot more work, but I can see teams taking advantage of that and holding the ball, keeping it out of his hands.
Mm-hmm. Oh, a team like the Saints could do that too. They dink and dunk and yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I think Saints, they have the offensive firepower to keep up. I don't know defensively. Well, they are solid defensively, but can they get to Patrick Mahomes in that game? I don't know. I think they've kind of reloaded a little bit on that D-line, but
It's still not very good.
it's still not very
Yeah,
good.
it's still not very good.
KC has an amazing offensive line. That's one
Yeah.
thing.
See, I want to say the strategy is keep the ball out of KC's hands.
Yeah,
KC doesn't need a lot of time though to score. That's
that is
the
true.
crazy thing.
They are fast and they are relentless.
Mhm.
And they're
Yeah.
furious.
And they're furious.
I think that's the game plan. The strategy to beat them is just punish their defense, get 50 first downs in the game, just hold the ball.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's about the only way too. Yeah.
Moving on to kind of what I think my predictions are. I'm thinking Chiefs, and it was a toss-up for me in the NFC. I was thinking Cowboys, Saints, 49ers. Really, I could see any of them making it. I think 49ers are going to not play as well this year. I think Garoppolo is going to underachieve. Garoppolo is a liability for them. I feel like he's not. I said this to my advisor, like we were talking about this. I don't think Garoppolo's a guy who can win a Super Bowl for them.
Rusty?
Yes, Rusty. Shout out to Rusty Brooks. He definitely doesn't listen to this. He doesn't know what a podcast is. I think it's either between the Cowboys or the Saints for me. I think I'm gonna say the Cowboys. Honestly,
What?
yeah, and I think
We like that.
I think they're gonna lose in the Super Bowl.
I'll
Oh, yeah.
take that.
Q, what are you thinking?
Man, we're all just gonna go Chiefs on the AFC side, aren't we?
I mean,
Yep.
there's no one else.
Yeah. I mean, who they got as competition? The Ravens or the Titans and the Bills? I mean, come on.
Not the Patriots anymore.
Not the Patriots. So yeah, I got to go Chiefs on the AFC side. I would go different if there was a different one available.
I mean, if Roethlisberger produces near his elite level, then the Steelers are going to be a nasty team.
That is true.
Ooh, that'd be an interesting. They're a good dark horse.
Yeah, that is true.
Roethlisberger, he said he's been feeling good. The elbow's good and stuff. He's taking a break from, stuff.
Hey, and the Bills got Diggs.
Bills, they get Diggs. That's all right. AFC.
I got to go Chiefs.
Yeah.
Versus, and we will go. So this is where it gets hard. The NFC is freaking stacked.
It really is.
I'm definitely not going to repeat because I don't buy the 49ers repeating. I think the 49ers make the playoffs again. They probably win their division, but they get bounced early. So I will say I'm going to go Saints, but I'm going to go them losing.
Okay. So Chiefs. 3 of us say Chiefs. Cody, what are your predictions?
Chiefs, with the Chiefs winning the Super Bowl over. I got to think about this one. Because I think the Saints will lose in their first or second playoff game like they always do.
Those damn refs will find a way.
Yeah.
I know y'all don't know Marlo that much, but Marlo's going to be pissed once they underachieve again. Shout out to Marlo.
Oh, dang. Marlo's going to come kill you.
He's going to have to find me. Oh, wait. I'm at HBU all the time. He knows where to find me.
Super easy. Barely an inconvenience. I think I'm going to go with Seattle.
Seattle?
interesting.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't think Seattle's going to go that far. I think their defense is really bad, honestly. And
Bad. I think their defense is good.
But they lost Bobby Wagner, right?
Did they?
Who is the linebacker? They have one who opted out, right?
Because I will change this if they do not have Bobby Wagner.
Who was the one that was broke his leg or something, and then flicked off his team as he was getting?
That was Earl.
No, Wagner's still around.
They lost some linebackers. I know that. I'm just forgetting names off the top of my head.
Yeah, Wagner just got named a captain for them for this year. Yeah, he's still around.
Well, they lost Shaquem Griffin.
Yeah,
but
that's not a law.
That's not
really a law.
I know, but that's not who I was thinking of. Well, I guess I'll get back to you.
Jamal Adams, Shaquille Griffin.
yeah, they did just get Jamal Adams, didn't they?
Yeah, they have a good defensive line.
Gave up too much for him, but they did get him.
Yeah. They just drafted a linebacker in the first round, a guy who probably should have gone in the third, but they got him in the first.
And honestly, I like their receiving core.
Yeah, they have a great receiving core. Russ makes their offensive line work.
And honestly, with having Russ in the backfield, it doesn't really matter who they surround him
Exactly.
with. He's just one of those players. Their offense is going to produce.
I just wanted to go with a dark horse random team.
I was about to go with the Cardinals.
Yeah, no.
Dude, no, I'm a big believer in Kyler for second year.
I don't.
They don't have enough weapons.
D-Hop, come on.
Who they have?
They got the weapons.
Who they have defensively, and then who they have at running back.
Oh,
They got Kenyon Drake now.
Guy.
Yeah, Kenyon Drake is not really a great running back just by himself. He's always been a running back by committee.
He was looking pretty elite towards the end of last season.
For the
Yeah.
Dolphins.
He was looking as a monster in
No,
Miami.
for the
No, for the-
Cardinals.
Yeah.
He was in Miami before that.
Yeah.
Miami, he had no help, so he's just kind of having to do everything himself. He's
Yeah,
getting more carries
I'm a
than
believer
before.
in him though. I don't know. That's I think they perform really well this year too. That's my dark horse team.
I think they're gonna make the playoffs. I don't know how far they're gonna go though.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. They're in such a hard division too, having to play the Niners twice, the Rams twice, and the Seahawks twice.
Yeah, I can see that too.
Yeah, it's tough.
Okay, so Drake had in 6 games he had 174 yards rushing for the Dolphins. In 8 for the Cardinals, he had 123, or he had 643 rushing yards.
It's almost 100 yards per game. It's pretty
Yeah.
good.
Mhm.
That's not bad, but
80.
I feel like especially nowadays in the NFL, you're gonna need a second running back to kind of also take on the load. It can't just be Kevin Drake.
Tremaine Edmonds, I think, had a good year.
Yeah, so he's gonna need to step up. They're gonna need someone else besides DeAndre Hopkins. And
No,
I
that's a
mean,
linebacker.
Don't they have Larry Fitz?
Yeah, they still have Larry Fitz.
Yeah.
They got they have Andy Isabella, and they got old dude from A&M. What's his name?
Kirk,
Yeah.
Captain Kirk.
yeah, any of those guys who can step up and take the pressure off Kyler, because Kyler's like he's still young, he's still learning the systems, all that stuff. He's gonna have to go through this brutal schedule, and he's gonna need as much help as possible for sure.
I mean, you've been a Patriots fan, so you don't know the revolving door of quarterbacks that Hops had to carry. through the playoffs.
Louise.
But Hop's that player. Like, he really is that guy that you just close your eyes, say a little prayer, and yeet that ball. He's going to get it.
Yeah, but it hasn't just been Hop. The Texans have had a solid defense.
Who? I'm about to say who? Will Fuller?
No. Although Will Fuller is not too shabby, but
Mr. Torn
when
ACL.
he's not injured.
Cardinals
which is once every 5 games.
exactly. Cardinals don't have a great defense compared to everyone else in that division. Am I right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyways, we can get deeper kind of in these teams as we do these picks. We got NFL WOP pick EMS.
Wop wop.
Once again, WOP means Wheel of Punishment.
Wop.
That means at the end of the year, whoever has the worst total record, they'll have to spin the wheel from
Spin that wheel.
fan-suggested punishments. And y'all can start submitting suggestions now. You can DM us on Twitter or Instagram at Texas3Step for punishments you think Q will have to do at the end of the year, because Q is going to get last in both
So it's the
NFL.
person in last.
Well, I said NFL. I don't know about college football. I'm off to a rough start. We'll address that in the next sport. But yeah, we got WOP Pick'ems this week. We got 5 games, and we're gonna go through these pretty rapid fire. First game is gonna be Thursday. It's gonna be after probably you listen to this podcast. We hope. We got Texans at Chiefs. Chiefs are a 9.5 favorite. The over-under is 54.5. The game's at 7:20 at night on NBC. Chiefs coming in as the defending champs. You know, they're looking to repeat this year. I think we've already addressed that enough. Texans are a complete shit show, like Matt said, and they're looking to return to the playoffs and try to build on something, not underachieve this year and start to fall apart and kind of slide as a team. This is going to be an interesting matchup. I think there's definitely going to be a lot of points put on the board. Personally, I think the Chiefs are going to win this because they just have too much on the offensive side, and they'll just outlast the Texans. I have them winning, but I have Texans covering the spread. What do you got, Cody?
Yeah, I had the Chiefs winning too. I think the Texans will cover the spread. Watson will keep them in it, but they'll still find a way to lose.
Matt?
Yeah, I think y'all said it perfectly. I mean, I'm going to have to switch it because they're still my team, but Texans winning. But yeah, I mean, I think it'll be a close game, and I think Bill O'Brien will somehow make the Chiefs win this. And going back to what you said real quick, this would be a successful year if we went 0-16 and fired Bill O'Brien.
So you're saying you're picking the Chiefs because you want the Texans to go 0-16. Is that what you're saying?
Wait,
Yes.
and you would have to get rid of Deshaun because Trevor Lawrence is the number 1 pick.
Jaguars are already starting that race, bud. They're already they want Trevor Lawrence.
We're not racing for the draft pick that Bill O'Brien already traded away. We're racing to get rid of Bill O'Brien.
True.
Could you imagine going 0-16 and not having that pick?
Trading it for fucking Duke Johnson.
As a
all
fan,
that
I would
hard
literally
work.
cry.
Oh, even imagine if they had that pick. Bill O'Brien would still mess it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be like 2008 picking Mario Chalmers.
You mean Mario Williams, you mean?
Yeah,
Mario
DeMario
Chalmers.
Williams.
Mario Chalmers, who's probably still in the league somehow. I don't know.
Oh, he's got to still be in the league. He's a legend.
I think he's like for Timberwolves or something. Who knows?
Last I
legend.
saw, he was in Memphis.
Well, Timber my Wolves. Is it my pick now?
Yeah, it is your pick.
Yeah.
Sorry, we're gonna skip you.
We wanted to talk about Mario Chalmers instead.
Do a whole
Go.
Mario Chalmers segment.
Go ahead,
Hey, he was
Q.
born in Alaska. Yeah, he's now in the Athens. He's plays for Athens in Greece.
Well, that's fun. No, good tidbit there for y'all.
Good for him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
Q, who you got?
I'm gonna take.
We all know
I'm gonna take the Chiefs and the over.
you're gonna take the Chiefs and the over, so the Chiefs are gonna cover the spread.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay, moving on to
I'm definitely going over. It's gonna be a high scoring game.
Yeah.
yeah, I'm going over too. Cody, you got over?
Yeah.
Yeah, 54.5. Yeah, they'll go over that. Next game, we just talked about the Seahawks and Russ a second ago. Seahawks are a 1.5 favorite at the Falcons. This is going to be Sunday at 12 o'clock Central Time on Fox. The over-under is 48.5. Falcons come in as the team you kind of know at this point. Very strong passing offense led by Matt Ryan and Julio Jones. But
28-3.
And that Calvin Ridley.
But they've added a little bit more weapons. They added Todd Gurley, so they're going to be expanding
Hayden
that run.
Hurst.
Say that again.
They added Hayden Hurst.
Hayden Hurst, yep. Their run game was bad last year. They should improve with Todd Gurley, but we don't know how good he's going to be. On the Seahawks end, Seahawks are solid as always. Offensively, solid. Defensively, I didn't get a chance to. They're one of the worst rush defenses last year. You saw a lot that running backs were getting past the first level, getting the second level. That's why Bobby Wagner and other linebackers were high in tackles and stuff like that. But it seems like they've improved that defensive line, add a few guys. They also added Jamal Adams in the secondary, so that's definitely going to be a big deal for them. They did lose Jadeveon Clowney, so we'll see how big of an impact that's going to be. I think this game specifically is going to be close. I got Seahawks. Wait, actually, no. Yeah, no, I originally had Seahawks. I'm looking at my notes. I have Falcons just barely winning this. I say by a field goal. I think Falcons are just going to be a little bit more dominant on offense. That's what I think. Let's go, Cody. What do you think?
Well, since I have them going to the Super Bowl, then the Seahawks are going to win the game. I'll have them cover the spread too.
You have them cover the spread. Got it.
Yep.
Matt?
Yeah, I think the Seahawks are going to beat them by like 10. I think it's going to be like a 34-21 type of game.
Really? Wow. That's a bold prediction right there. Q, what are you thinking?
So actually, I got the Falcons in this game just because it feels like one of those weird games at the beginning of the season that the Seahawks always seem to blow. But I do have it being a kind of a low-scoring game, like a weird low-scoring game. So I'm going to go the under.
Like 17-13.
Yeah.
It will be a little weird since this is coronavirus stuff going on. They'll be in the Georgia Dome with I don't know how much capacity, but that's just going to be dead.
I think it's
for
going to
sure.
be at like 25%.
Oh,
But we'll
that's
probably-
just going to be dead. I think
They'll probably pump in crowd noise.
at 70 decibels, which is really not that loud.
Yeah.
What was I going to say? If you know anything about playing when there's no fans, I especially know about that. My whole high school career, basketball was with no fans, basically. It is starting games, the energy you have is really like, it's tough. Like you feel just so lethargic to start the games. Like it takes probably like the first quarter to really get into it and get pumps, because it's just like you're hearing all the extra sounds around the field, like the sounds whoever's making right now on their mic. And then it's just like, it's hard to have the fan energy levels. You have your whole NFL career, and then you have this Corona game where it's like 25% capacity.
Yeah.
Like you're not going to be playing the same way. I could see it going under, but personally I have it over because these offenses are just so special. So I went over, Matt went under. What about Cody and Q?
I went under.
What was the over under?
I'm sorry, Q went under. Matt, are you going over on this? It's
Yeah, I went over, remember?
48.5.
Oh, I'm going under.
You going under? Okay. So we got 2 unders, 2 overs. We'll see how that goes. Next one, Dolphins Patriots. We'll be extremely quick with this. Cam's leading this new team. Ryan Fitzmagic is leading the Dolphins. I got Patriots. Cody, who you got? Pats. Matt?
I think Ryan Fitzpatrick wins the outfit battle against Cam Newton, but I think Cam Newton takes it on the field. Patriots.
See,
Have you seen Cam's new haircut?
I'm thinking that Fitz comes in wearing Deshaun Jackson's clothes again, same exact outfit. He goes in there and he has one of these Fitzpatrick games where he throws like 5 touchdowns and he pulls off the W.
That's true. Usually Fitzmagic happens at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And I'm thinking that they beat the Patriots.
I'm switching.
Hey, there we go.
Hey,
Yes.
how about that? Y'all both gonna look like idiots. How about that?
y'all both grabbing an L.
At least I
Cam's
didn't
gonna be out to
lose
prove a
alone.
point.
Patriots are the 7-point favorite. And the over under is 42.5. Let's just quickly over under. What do y'all think?
Under.
Over.
Over.
Over. Okay. Next one. Bucks Saints. 3:25 Central Time at Fox. 49.
Good game.
Over under. Probably the best game of the week. Saints are a 3.5 favorite. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are coming in with a pretty stout group. Tampa Bay, sorry.
It's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
I really said Tampa Bay. I have it written right here. Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Sure you do.
I do, actually. I'll send a picture later. They added Leonard Fournette. This offense is going to be so much fun. I'm not going to lie. I'm definitely going to be rooting for them a little bit. And then Saints, their offense is so impressive, led by Drew Brees. It's coming to an end with his career. He wants to go out with a bang, potentially.
Bang, bang, bang.
I think they'll probably go on another run this year. We'll see. And then they got the amazing wide receiver, Michael Thomas. Like, that offense is stout. It's just the question marks for both teams are where their defense right now. Can their defenses stop the other opposing team's offenses and allow their offenses to kind of break away? We'll see. In this game, I think the Buccaneers, it's going to take a couple games for them to gel and these new players. I got Saints winning this, and I got the over in this. I think they're going to score over 3.5 points to win this game. Let's go Q. What do you think?
I'm going to take the Bucks. No real reason. I'm just feeling the Bucks for this one. What's the over under again?
Not real.
Over under 49 points, and the Saints are 3.5 favorite.
I'm going under.
Under.
Mm-hmm.
And then are you saying Bucks covering the spread or Saints covering?
Bucks covered spread.
Okay, so 3-point game basically. Matt, what do you think?
I want to say if this was later in the season, I'd have to take the Bucks, but because it's week 1, Tom Brady's not getting that full time to learn the system. They're not getting the preseason to fix any of these early mishaps they're going to have. I think Saints, and I it's going to be, I think it's going to, the spread's what again? 3-something?
3.5.
3.5. They're either going to win by a field goal or a touchdown. I don't know which one, though. But they're definitely going to go in over the 49.
Yeah, I agree on that. Cody?
I'm going to go the over. The Saints are going to win, and I'll have them cover.
Okay. Sounds good on that. Final game, the primetime game, Cowboys at the Rams in the Rams' new stadium.
How about them Cowboys?
It's going to be weird. Not a lot of people in that new stadium.
No, there's not going to be anyone in that new stadium. It's California.
Oh, yeah. I didn't even think about that. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's going to be weird.
They really have this new stadium, and they're debuting it with no fans. That is crazy.
Welcome to the world of Texas Rangers.
Yeah, Rangers did the same thing.
Wow. I'm definitely I'm going to try to watch most of these games. My eyes will be on this. Cowboys coming as a 3-point favorite. Over under 51.5. Cowboys, we talked about them enough. But when we talk about the Rams, they're looking to bounce back after a not so stellar year last year, after being in the Super Bowl the year before. Jared Goff has the same weapons as before: Robert Woods, Cooper Kupp, Tyler Higbee. They drafted Cam Akers. That'll be a good running back for them.
Yeah, he lost Cooks though, but
lost Cooks and lost Gurley, so we'll see that dynamic.
I think that's better for him though.
Defensively, they have the best probably in the league, I personally think, but best defensive player, Aaron Donald. And he'll be a monster the whole year. And they added Jalen Ramsey, who also got a good deal. This game is going to be a good one, and I got Cowboys in this. I think Cowboys are going to have a little bit more offense. Aaron Donald's going to get in the backfield several times, but I think Jared Goff is going to have a trash game, and Cowboys are going to end up scoring more. Let's go Q on this one. What do you think?
Oh, you got to know, I got my boy Dak. Dak's going to come out here and be firing on all cylinders to start the season off, especially since he all that training camp that he did, the extra training camp where he built a field in his backyard. I think he's ready. I think he's ready to prove everybody wrong, too, about the franchise tag, whole junk and all that. So I got Cowboys. I got them covering the spread, and I got them on the over.
Let's go, Matt. What do you think?
You're going to have to repeat the over again.
51.5, and it's a 3-point spread.
3-point spread. I mean, they're going to destroy the spread. I think Cowboys are going to come out guns blazing and just put the Rams in the dirt here. I think they're going to go under, but I think they're going to beat them by the spread.
Okay. Cody, what do you think?
I think the Cowboys are going to win. I'll have them cover, and I'll go with the over.
Oh, and that is the last pick of the Texas 3-step NFL WOP pick EMS. And that is the end of our very, very long but thorough NFL breakdown. We are for sure excited for this week. I think everyone's excited. Definitely check out the 5 games we previewed. We'll release our graphic later with our picks. And Q will definitely finish last this week. That's my bold prediction to wrap this up.
Okay.
Well, the Dolphins, man.
The Dolphins. That's going to be the one that puts them over. Bullshit.
Hey, we're going to both win off of this one.
Yeah, man, we taking the dub there.
Yeah, doubt it. We'll also,
Wait, did you say we're taking the dump because we're not Odell Beckham?
Oh,
the dub.
And we're ending with that shit, literally. We want to thank Mr. Matt Powell for joining us today. He's been electric for us.
His name is Matt.
Yeah, I don't know how to finish after that shit. Thanks, bud, for joining us. We'll definitely have Matt on again for sure. And he'll be joining me for the UFC show whenever the next time we do that. I don't know. This HBU season just takes forever. But yeah, we're going to move on to college football next. And yeah, we'll be back in a second. And we're back with college football. Last week, freaking sucks. I don't think anyone debates that. After the first week of WOP Pick'ems, not only did last week suck, but I sucked at picking last week. Shocker. I know, right? I have a record of 1-3 after the first week.
Loser.
And Cody and... What was
Loser.
that? Okay. I'm going to save this clip for the end of the season when you get the bottom pick, and
Still
you have
a loser.
to spin the wheel of punishment.
Right. You're still going to be the loser.
Right. Uh-huh.
What school are you still at
We'll see.
right now?
Well, yes. Anyways, Q and Cody are 3-1 after the first
Damn
week.
right.
Yeah,
Winners.
good for y'all. I would say it's not gonna last this week, but this week freaking sucks too. This week we have 3 picks. We were gonna have 4, but freaking Louisiana Tech and Baylor game fell apart because Louisiana Tech, get this, had 38 positive cases in the last week. Oof.
Yikes. That's going to put their game against HBU in jeopardy.
It could. HB has a bye week right before, so we'll see. Unless the other 60 players decide, hey, it's our turn.
Exactly.
But anyways, we got 3 games this week. We got Duke, Notre Dame, UTSA, Texas State,
Notre Dame. Sounds like Charles Barkley.
Notre Dame. Notre Dame, Georgia Tech, Florida State, and then, like I said, UTSA, Texas State. We'll start with Duke, Notre Dame, 1:30 Central Time on NBC, over under 53.5. Notre Dame is a 20-point favorite. Obviously, there's not a lot of good games this week, but anyways, I got Notre Dame winning this game pretty easily. Yeah. I think Ian Brock is going to lead the way and outplay the Clemson transfer Chase Bryce for Duke. And yeah, that's basically how I see it going. How do y'all see it going?
Notre Dame.
Yeah. Notre Dame will win. But Duke will cover the spread.
Duke will cover the spread? Yeah, I think so.
I think so.
I think 20 points is a little generous.
I think we all agree.
Yeah.
Duke is a lot better team.
I don't think Notre Dame
think.
is as good as everyone thinks.
Definitely not.
What do y'all think? The over under 53.5.
I'll go over.
53.5. Yeah, I'll go over.
Yeah, I'm gonna go over too. So that's that game. We all got Notre Dame. Shocker.
Yep.
Number 10, Notre Dame's gonna be Duke. If
Shocker.
this was basketball, it'd be a different story. It's not basketball, it's football. Next game, we got UTSA against Texas State. UTSA comes in with a new head coach, new offense, new system, all this stuff. They had a really rough year last year, obviously why they fired their coach. Texas State is coming off a loss last week to SMU when they actually played SMU pretty well. Shane Buechele didn't have that great of a game for his standards, I guess. And Texas State was able to score and kind of move the ball around, so that's pretty impressive. Texas State comes in as a 7.5 favorite, over under 55.5, and this game's at 2:30 Central Time on ESPN2. For this game, I got Texas State winning. What do y'all think?
What is the what's the spread again?
7.5.
7.5, and it's Texas State.
For Texas State. Yep. Texas State is home for this game.
I am gonna go Texas State.
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna go UTSA, but then I remembered how well Texas State looked against SMU, so I'm gonna go Texas State.
Yeah, Texas State was able to run the ball pretty well with 2 running backs. They both had nearly 100 yards. That was impressive. I expect them to do the same this week. So we all got Texas State, right?
Yep.
Yep. Awesome. And the final game of the day. And by final day of the game, it's
final day of the game.
Final day of the game. Got it.
Yikes.
The game's at the same time as the Texas State game. It's 2:30 Central Time on ABC. We got Georgia Tech, and Florida State. I can't talk at this point. Florida State's led by their senior QB, James Blackman, and they should be pretty solid on offense. Solid. And Georgia Tech is coming off as one of the worst offensive teams in the ACC.
As usual.
As usual. I wonder how this game's going to go. Fellas, what are you thinking?
FSU.
FSU? Q?
Yeah.
I'm going to go FSU as well.
Yeah, so they're a 12-point favorite. I also got FSU. I think they're going to cover the spread. Over under 55. What do y'all think?
Under.
Under.
Under. I think it's going to be under 2. I think Georgia Tech's going to be held to 15 or less points. Actually, I'll say 20 or less points. That's my guess.
Yeah, I think it'll be like a 28-14 game or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. I think that's a good call.
I agree.
Not only did Georgia Tech have the worst offense last year, they also have they don't know who their starting QB is yet. So that's
Yikes.
another yikes. So yeah, for 3 games, we have all of us agreeing that Notre Dame's going to win. All of us agreeing Texas State are going to win. And all of us agreeing Florida State's going to win.
Another week with Tyler in last.
Right. I see what y'all did there. Interesting. Very interesting. Other notable games this week, we got Texas is playing their first game against UTEP. They're a 43-point favorite. It's going to be 7 p.m. Central Time on Longhorn Network, the network that nobody has.
I haven't.
Nobody's going to watch the game anyway, so who cares? Other notable games, at the same time, Texas Tech will be playing their first game against Houston Baptist. It's the first Big 12 opponent for Houston Baptist. Texas Tech is looking to kind of build up from last year after a not very good season. It'll be their first game of the season, kind of get a rhythm. I think they have they're starting QBs back after being hurt last year, so
Bowman.
Yep, and they're going to try to get a rhythm as an offense and defense and get ready for Big 12 play. I think that spread was 39 for Texas Tech. And then last thing, SMU was going to be playing TCU this week, but that game also got postponed because of coronavirus problems.
Yes, and that would have been probably the best game.
Yeah, easily. It would have been the only competitive game, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But we started college football, but we're kind of not quite into it yet. It's kind of a weird feeling. So it will be better next week. Next week, hopefully we have different picks. And hopefully the games are actually competitive.
No, we're going to keep making the same picks so we can have Tyler lose it all.
Joke's on y'all. I'll just change my pick. I'll just keep doing it.
Sure, it's already been.
At the end of the day, I release the graphics so I can change the picks. So if I just happen to make Cody pick, who's playing today? If I have Cody picking UTEP or who else was playing today? Have them picking UTSA, Georgia Tech, Duke. If I all of a sudden change Cody's picks, that's in my hands. I can do whatever I want. All of a sudden, Cody's last this week. Who knows? But anyways, that's our brief preview of college football this week. There'll be a lot more next week, especially I think the SEC is back next week, right, boys?
Unclear.
But there should be some real games next week, hopefully.
Maybe.
Hopefully no more Corona stuff. Anyways.
Yeah, it sucks because all the Power 5 or the really Power 3 conferences, the Big 12 is the only one playing non-conference games.
Yeah, and ACC, it seems like their best games are not this week either. So.
Well, ACC is a garbage conference.
Well, that's
anyway. So
that too. Yeah. Well, on to next week. That'll be it for college football, and yeah, we'll move on to the next sport.
All right. So jumping on over to baseball, we have a very special guest. Mine and Tyler's good friend Edgar is joining the show.
Thanks for having me, guys.
So what do you have planned to talk about, Quentin?
So yeah, you're a really big Braves fan, right?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, so we'll go ahead and start off with how the Braves scored 29 runs tonight, almost breaking the Rangers' modern day major league record of 30 runs in the game back in 2007. They're on a pretty good run, man. They're on the top of their division, and I really think they got a good shot to really shock some people out in the NL.
Yeah, this game was just absolutely insane. And, the Braves have had struggles of late with their starting pitching. And that all happened because of, Mike Soroka getting injured in just a freak accident.
Right.
Felix Hernandez opting out, and then Cole Hamels just obviously wasn't healthy enough to start the season.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully we get him back soon. But just none of the other guys, could step up and be that guy to kind of take on the mantle. Max Fried did it, and now he's on the 10-day IL. Hopefully he just misses one start, but we've lost 4 out of the last 5, not including this tonight's game, which thank goodness this game happened because I was starting to lose some hope in our starting pitching, but man, we needed a game like this because my God, it's been rough, especially with the Phillies on our heels.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Phillies have been picking it up. They're 7-3 in their last 10, so they've definitely been coming up on you guys. I mean, the NL is looking kind of tricky to even pick outside the Dodgers. I mean, it just seems like all the top tier competition outside the Dodgers are just like neck and neck with each other.
It's crazy. It, like, for me going into the season, obviously, I'm thinking, you're going to have your Dodgers.
Yeah.
You're going to have. I'm thinking the Braves are going to be not like the Dodgers, but have a pretty good, substantial lead in the East. Because obviously at that point, nobody was, besides Hamels, nobody was like going to miss the season,
right.
Starting pitching wise. So I'm thinking, we'll be fine. Everything's going to be good. I did not think that the Padres would be as hot as they are. I didn't think that the Reds would be as lackluster as they are.
Yeah, I was really high on the Reds coming into the season too. Like a lot of people.
On paper, that team is, I wouldn't say stacked, but on paper that team is like solid.
Yeah.
I was going into the season, I'm thinking the Phillies are gonna, shit the bed again. Oh, sorry. Can I curse on this? Or, okay.
We can bleep you out if not.
Okay. I'm thinking the Phillies are going to shit the bed, as they do. I know the Mets are the Mets. I knew the Nationals were not going to be that good.
Right, yeah. They lost quite a bit, so.
Yeah, I knew the Nationals were not going to be that good, and I didn't expect the Marlins to be a 500 club to this point.
I don't think anybody did, and the fact that they bought at the trade deadline too, was pretty impressive. Telling them how much they're buying on these young guys to actually try to make a little bit of a run at things here. I don't think they catch anybody, but they may make that last extra wild card spot since there's the playoff field is so expanded. So I think that's pretty cool. Yeah,
it's a cool. Somewhat of a cool story considering they almost single-handedly destroyed this season at the beginning.
That is right. That is true.
I'll continue to say they should not be looked at as a feel-good story.
No.
Considering everything that happened. But yeah, I mean, they've been playing good baseball. All things considered, they kind of really stepped up and really showed people, we're not going to be the doormat of the division.
Right.
We're going to leave that up to the Nationals. So,
the defending champs.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. And that, like you said, the Marlins bought at the deadline, and looking at that, that's kind of my biggest gripe with the Braves. We had such an obvious weakness.
Should have came and bought Lance Lynn.
Yeah. I mean, we had such an obvious weakness, yet we did relatively nothing about it. We traded for Tommy Malone from the Orioles, and let me see.
Tommy Malone's so old now.
Yeah, he's so old. He's pitched in 3 games for the Braves so far. And in his first game against the Phillies, it was the same day he got traded. They flew him in a private jet from Buffalo, where the Blue Jays are playing, to Philadelphia. And he has to pitch that night, so I kind of gave him, I was like, all right, he's not going to be, on top of his stuff because he just flew in. He's going to have to get used to it. So I was like, I'm going to cut him some slack. we score 10 runs in 1 inning, and he proceeds to give up 6 runs, and I'm like, oh shit. Well, oh well. Then he pitches against the Nationals, and he gives up, I want to say, 3 runs in 3 innings, and we had only scored 4, so he gets pulled. And then tonight, he's up 11-2, and I think it ends up getting to like 11-8 or something like that, and so he gets pulled. And so I'm like, all right, well, maybe this wasn't the right choice.
Right.
Or maybe I feel like Tommy Milone, that trade is the kind of guy where you trade for Tommy Milone, but you also go and get a guy like Clevenger or Lynn.
Yeah, trading for Tommy Milone was like the Rangers stuck in the proverbial hell that they kept trading for guys like Matt Garza, and it's that mid-tier guy that's on the market that you can't really. Yeah, it's not going to push you over any edge or anything like that. All it does is really add you a decent arm, but not the arm that you really need, and that always comes back to bite everybody in the ass every time they try to do a trade like that.
Yeah, and especially in the situation that the Braves were in, it's like obviously we traded for Tommy Milone. To me, it reeked of just trading for somebody that is just going to eat innings.
Yeah,
and that's fine, but
not in a 60-game season.
Not in a 60-game season, and not in a season where you have a decent lead in the division. You can you get a guy like Clev, or you get a guy like Lynn. Hell, you even before y'all traded Minor, you probably could have gotten Minor and Lynn.
That's an upgrade over Malone. Minor's
exactly.
Yeah, so that's
the Rangers were wanting back one of your top 2 guys. So,
and I had said it before. I only wanted to trade. Obviously, I'm not the Braves GM. I wish I was, but I only wanted to trade Drew Waters for Mike Clevenger.
But aren't y'all starting Inciarte over both of them?
Dude, I don't understand. At this point, a lot of Braves fans will echo this sentiment. We don't want to trade our prospects because they're too good to trade to get rid of, but they're not good enough to start over Ender Inciarte, who has been abysmal the past 2 seasons. It's like we got to make our decision. We got to make up our mind. Are they good? Are they good, or are they just decent? Because if they're just decent, get rid of them.
Yeah.
Because a guy like Clev is going to instantly make a difference on your team. Or a guy like Lynn.
Exactly. Well, so I heard you second in there. You mentioned the Blue Jays. Just talking about it. Honestly, do you think the Blue Jays are the best team in New York right now?
Oh, that's a good question. Let's see. I would have to say, as of right now, yes. I think the Blue Jays, all around, compared to all the Yankees and the Mets, I think they're better. They have an all around better just staff at this point.
I don't know what's going on with the Yankees right now, man. But they're 3-7 in their last 10. They're making errors left and right. Man, they become like the laughing stocks of Twitter now. Everybody's just making fun of them constantly, and it's like
picking up the Astros slack.
Yeah, it's the ultimate slump.
They're looking awful.
Yeah, and I don't know if you guys listen to Talking Baseball by John Boy.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's his podcast. They're big Yankees fans.
Yeah,
and I was listening to one of their podcasts this morning, and he had mentioned that he was talking about the Braves, so obviously I'm tuning in. And he says, the Braves fans, calm down. You're in a slump, but you're not. It's not as bad as what the Yankees are in right now. And I was like, oh shit! Like, let me go look at the Yankees, and they're sitting at 22-21.
Mm-hmm.
This is a team that when the Yankees played the Braves, I want to say a week ago or a week and a half ago, they were like, I think they were like 8 games over 500.
Wow.
And then we swept them in a doubleheader, and ever since then, they lost. I don't even know. It's just been really bad for them.
Oh man, you want to talk
I don't
about
know
bad
what
times.
they can do.
The Rangers are 3-17 since Fernando Tatis hit that grand slam on the 3-0 pitch. 3-17.
Yikes.
We were in the second
No.
playoffs. We were in the second wild card spot as the Rangers. I'm a big Rangers fan, but
I think they're 5-17 now. They've won 2 in a row somehow.
I think it might be 5-17 now. But
They were 10-10 when Tatis hit that.
4-17.
Wow.
There we go. And
Talk about just ultimately losing all momentum that you could have had.
oh man,
You just let that game go by.
and then not
Don't
selling
make
at
a
the
big fuss
deadline
about
is terrible. It's not selling enough. They did sell, but they didn't sell enough, in my opinion.
They probably didn't
personally-
get enough.
Yeah, they weren't getting the offers, and it wasn't necessarily their fault, but it's just that makes me look even worse.
I'm not a Rangers fan, so I don't really follow them that closely. But from the outside looking in, I think I was one of those guys that was saying the Rangers should have found a way to get rid of Lynn.
Mm-hmm.
I think more so over Minor.
Oh yeah,
I think
they should have got Ryder Minor last year. The opportunity was there, and they didn't sell, and they've been doing this so often where they don't sell, and it's I don't know what they're holding on to, honestly, at this point, because it's just diminishing value, and the more you hold on to Gallo, the more he's proving that he may not be that guy that you can build a team around, and so it's just not looking pretty.
But
Also, sorry, Cody. Go ahead.
the problem with if the Rangers just found a way to get rid of Lynn, they're probably not going to get really anything that great, because
That is true.
I think the Padres got away with highway robbery for the Clevenger deal.
I think so too.
And Lynn's worth less than Clevenger, but I think both Lynn and Clevenger's values are a lot higher. Like Clevenger's for sure worthy of one of the Braves' top 2 prospects. Lynn, they'd probably have to throw in another guy to get one of the top 2.
Yeah, and obviously, like Anthony Anthopoulos, the GM for the Braves, ultimately you can place your trust in the guy. He's made some good decisions, he's made some bad decisions, and that's every GM.
Yeah.
That's every GM. But considering, it's a 60-game season. You don't want to trade for a guy that's you're going to get rid of a top prospect for some of these guys, but Lynn has another year on the contract.
Yeah, I think in
Clev,
a normal season though, Lynn would have got back, especially pitching the way he was pitching. If he was pitching that over an entire first half like that, he would have got back a shipload of prospects.
Oh, absolutely.
I think this whole season made everything so like messed up and weird that it's just ruined everything.
Yeah, and does Clev get traded in a normal season? Who knows?
Right.
You never know. But a guy like Clev doesn't get traded that often.
Right, exactly.
That type of stuff doesn't happen that often. So
he brought
if
that
you're
for
a team
himself,
like,
too.
exactly. And I'm surprised Plesac didn't get traded either, or didn't get much of a punishment. He got sent down, but I mean, he got called up directly after Clev was traded. So
exactly.
But with the Braves, I think a lot of my frustration comes with the complacency around the team, and with the front office especially. This is probably I'm probably complaining about stupid stuff compared to like you guys Rangers fans. Like,
you're probably
going
going to know half
like,
of it, brother.
Yeah, but you would think that a team who is has as much talent as the Braves have, that they wouldn't be so reluctant on going to get guys that are going to make the team even better, you know?
That is one thing. That JD definitely did. John Daniels, he definitely did when the Rangers had good teams. He was not afraid to buy. But no, now not all of those worked out. Actually, especially a few of those definitely didn't work out. But he wasn't afraid to do it, and I respect that. You gotta be able to try to go for it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not gonna knock anybody trading for somebody if they think that person at the time is gonna make their team better. Now you can sell off people, and it may be your number one prospect, and may turn into a superstar, and that pitcher you trade for may be awful, but at least you're going for it, you know?
And
so,
he's been lucky too. None of the guys that have been the main parts of a trade have really done anything.
Yeah, and he gets destroyed for it, and I don't understand why. It makes no sense.
The Hamels trade, I think Hamels and Diekman have still combined for a higher WAR just when they were with the Rangers than the guys that they gave up in their entire career.
Who was number one in that? Alfaro?
Yeah, I think he is. I don't know where he is.
He's not
Miami?
terrible, but yeah.
Oh, is his name Jose Alfaro?
Yeah,
Jorge.
Catcher?
Jorge.
Jorge.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, every time he plays the Braves, he's a freaking monster. So, he completely kills us.
Well, every time Isaiah Kiner-Falefa plays in Houston, he looks like a superstar, but everywhere else he's not quite as good.
Hey, he went 4 for 4 tonight.
That's good. I'm a big fan of him. I really do think that he has a big future. I think he's going to be the everyday shortstop, and I think we saw the last days of Elvis Andrus. I'm as a regular player.
If only we could see the last days of Rougned Odor.
Oh my God, I know. I think we're getting close to that. I don't think the leash is there anymore.
Yeah, they injured list and put him in the starting lineup so he could go 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts.
Yeah.
I will say one trade that really benefited us last year was that Chris Martin trade that we did with you guys.
That was a beneficial trade to both sides.
That was.
Yeah. Colby Allard is he's a good arm, you know?
Yeah, he's had some rough starts, but overall,
he'll figure it out.
Yeah, he's shown the potential to be
I'm a big
quality guy.
That's the guy that, obviously I love the trade because we got Chris Martin, and I'm a big proponent that if he doesn't hurt his oblique last year in the playoffs against the Cardinals, if he doesn't hurt his oblique, I think we go to the World Series instead of the Nationals.
I think that too, honestly. I was a real big on the Braves last year. Honestly, I was big on them this year going into it.
Yeah.
And so, I don't know. I mean,
it's just...
Yeah, I mean, I think they're quality. I really do. And I mean, all around, you guys are a solid team.
Yeah, it's, and I shouldn't be complaining as much as I do on the Braves because obviously they've over the past 3 years they've provided that joy that I was missing for 4 years prior when we were rebuilding. But you as a fan, you're always going to find something to nitpick and be mad at. You know, even if mine is that I don't think that this Braves team will be as successful as I want them to be with Brian Snitker at the helm. I think he's a great guy. He's been with the organization for like 40 years, 30 years, or something like that. But
reading your Twitter about his bullpen decisions is very entertaining.
Oh my God. It's the most annoying. It's the most annoying thing. He came out and said, personally said in an interview, I think it was in like 2018, he said this, and he still has the same philosophy. He said, I will not use my best bullpen arms if we are trailing in a game. Now, mind you, at face value, that sounds, pretty reasonable. I'm not going to waste my best arm if we're trailing in a game.
Yeah.
But every game that he said this about, we were down by 1 run. And the game ended up getting broken open completely as a result of him putting the worst bullpen arms in. And for example, the other day we were playing, I want to say it was the Nationals. We were down 4-3 going into the top of the ninth. He puts in, I think, somebody that had just gotten called up that day. Going into the bottom of the ninth, it's now 10-3.
Oh.
And I'm like,
Sounds like a Rangers game.
Yeah.
Jesse I literally sat back. Yeah. I literally sat back and I'm like, why? How do we just continue to let this happen? You know, when we have Ron Washington as our third base coach, like I would love for Ron Washington. I would love for him to be our manager.
I loved Wash when he was manager in Texas. He was, I mean, I think he might be the best like fielding coach in baseball.
Oh,
like maybe
absolutely,
maybe top 10 like baseball history. Honestly, he legendary.
I feel like he has single-handedly made Ozzie and Swanson the best middle infield duo in the league.
I agree. Yeah,
they have some of the best glove work that I've seen of any team like in the modern like this year and the past couple years.
He made Ian Kinsler a good infielder. Like,
yeah,
yeah. The guy is phenomenal.
Elvis Andrus.
Yeah, like you look what happens now with Elvis Andrus' glove. Oh my God.
He elevated Beltre.
I mean, Wash is amazing, and I really wish that that he didn't get into the whole cocaine incident and all that, and lose his job here, because I really do think that, I mean, he's better than Jeff Bannister, and he's definitely better than Chris Woodward, and I think Woodward might be.
Chris Woodward needs to go.
Yeah, I am done with him now. I was a big fan when we first brought him in, but now I'm like I'm on the
that Tatis thing soured both of us against him.
But
Ron Washington actually almost got the Padres gig this past season.
Yeah, I remember that.
I was very nervous when he went to go interview. I was like, I love the guy, and if he gets it, he gets it. But I really want him to stay.
I wish somebody would give him another shot, because he deserves it. But to segue a little bit, let's go into. I really wanted to touch on the bottom feeders real quick, because the Rangers are actually they're in line, kind of. They're fighting with the Red Sox and the Red Sox and the Pirates for last place in all of baseball for the first overall pick. And I just wanted to touch on that real quick. And I think whoever gets the first overall pick, or the first two overall pick, are taking the two Vanderbilt pitchers. Kumar Rocker, and the other one's last name is Leiter, I believe. Mm-hmm. And they're ridiculous. But
the Nationals are making their way towards the bottom as
they are too. Yeah,
as well. And they play the Braves in a 4-game series this weekend. So
get that kid, because they got.
I think that is so. Obviously, you finish last, you get your top draft picks, whatever. But God, I'll be so bitter if the Nationals end up doing that, because they're just going to get another pitcher.
I'm afraid that if the Rangers get the first overall pick, we'll pick somebody stupid.
A high schooler.
I would be nervous about that as well.
Yeah,
it's the same thing with the Red Sox. The Red Sox do end up finishing top, end up with a top 3 pick. That team is just going to be scary good going forward.
Exactly. That's what I worry about too. So I mean, but yeah. So what I really want to get into here too, I want you to give your picks, if you don't mind, on honestly, just give your World Series picks, and then I want to roll into some talk on Roberto Clemente to finish it out.
Okay, cool. So you just want me to go ahead and just
go for it, man.
Okay, cool. All right, well, I at one point believed that the Braves were gonna make it to the end. They're gonna get there and just completely shock the world. But considering everything that we've been going through, starting pitcher, clueless manager, there's no way. And obviously there's one team in the NL that's just completely better than the rest. and that's the Dodgers.
Mm-hmm.
No one as of late has been able to touch them up, and that team is just continuing to go strong. So that would be my pick out of the National League. And the AL gets a little tough.
It does. You have some good
Yeah.
teams that are even going to make it in as wild card teams, like Blue Jays. The Astros still have talent, even though they've been slumping again. They're 3-7 in their last 10 as well, but they're still in that second wild card spot with the expanded playoffs. So who do you think out of here?
So I think that obviously, like you said, I think the Astros will end up making it in, but I think they run into the same problem the Braves do. Lack of pitching, whereas the Braves have in my opinion, I think the Braves have one of the best bullpens in the league. The Astros don't have any.
No, they don't. They're relying on so many rookie pitchers.
Yeah. And you can only do that for so long.
Exactly.
Eventually it's going to catch up with you. And they're sitting at 500 right now. I can honestly see them like 4 games under
I can see it too.
500 when the season ends.
But
I still think
in
they'll
that
make it
division in the West, it's probably going to make the playoffs still.
Oh, absolutely. In the West, you more than likely 4 games under 500, you're going to be the number 2 seed.
Yeah.
Like, that's pretty bad. But, you look at the Central, or staying in the West, the Oakland A's, goodness gracious. Like, that team, I feel like, is one of the best in the AL. The Central, I feel like there's a lot of good teams, but I don't think necessarily that they're world beaters.
Yeah. I don't know. They're pretty top heavy with the White Sox, Indians, and Twins. I mean, solid teams, but neither one of them are like better than the other.
Yeah, and they have the Tigers, who are not necessarily getting their brains bashed in, but they're still not good.
Yeah.
And then the Royals, so you got teams that you can rack up wins against. Ultimately, I think the Yankees are going to turn it around, but not enough to make it to the World Series. I think it's going to come down to either the A's or the Rays. And I think I'm going to go ahead and go with Tampa Bay making it out of the AL.
That's my pick for it too. I agree.
Yeah. That team is just, they're like sneaky good, There's not a lot of superstars on that team, but they got a lot of guys that know how to play ball and go and ball out every game.
Exactly.
And I think, Tampa Bay against LA, obviously you have one of the biggest teams in the MLB, the Dodgers, going up against one of the smaller market teams in Tampa Bay. And
if Tampa Bay wins that, they're Moneyball extraordinaires.
Oh, absolutely. If they could pull that off, that would be incredible.
Oh, it'd be amazing.
But, at this point, as good as the Rays are, I really don't see anybody beating the Dodgers. I just feel like the Dodgers are they're just like a freaking...
Yeah, this is one of the best lineups.
Monolith.
Honestly.
Yeah, and literally you cannot pitch around one guy to get to the other. Because you're going to face somebody who's going to absolutely kick your ass if you mess up,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So,
exactly.
I just feel like the Dodgers are just, my God, what a team.
I agree. Yeah, so that's awesome. I mean, I pretty much agree exactly with your picks. Something cool to segue real quick. Something cool that happened in MLB was they allowed the Pirates and all Puerto Rican born players to wear number 21 in honor of Roberto Clemente, which I think is phenomenal. I mean, I think his humanitarian work, along with being a member of the 3,000 Hit Club and the stuff that he did. I mean, we all know how he sadly died in the plane crash when he was when he was going to aid earthquake victims in Nicaragua. I mean, he was only 38 years old. I mean, he's somebody I believe that like MLB needs to do more of this stuff to make sure we don't forget the history. And I think that's what it has over every other sport is that the history is there. You have so much more history and so much more engravedness in American culture more than anything else. And I just think they really need to do this kind of thing and more often, to where they need to honor players like this, especially people like Roberto Clemente. So I think it should be worn by all players. Like, they should do a Roberto Clemente Day like they do Jackie Robinson Day. But
Yes.
what do you think about that?
I absolutely love that they're doing the letting the Pirates, wear 21, and then all Puerto Rican born players wear 21 as well. I think that's really awesome. The guy, he was a great guy, a phenomenal player. And just to honor him like this it's just incredible. I would say, I think the MLB, I think I would really like them to retire 21.
I think they should too.
Yeah,
I agree.
Considering how much of an impact that the guy had, not only in baseball, but in life as well. I say retire 21, have the Roberto Clemente Day, and just, show that how important this guy really was.
Exactly. No, I 100% agree. And I think that's probably what they're going to be moving on to, something like that very pretty soon. I mean, it's about time. It really is. I mean, he's the Pirates' Jackie Robinson, basically. I mean,
of course.
He's Puerto Rican's Jackie Robinson, basically. I mean, without him, there wouldn't be as big of a culture of these Hispanic countries, and it's just he paved the way and is a groundbreaker, and it's amazing that they're finally giving him more and more credit than he's been getting in the past. But yeah, I mean, that's about all we have really for baseball here today. Cody, you got anything else?
No, I think I just wanted to have some time to vent about my struggles with being a Braves fan. I feel I got some things off my chest, so I think that's good.
Well, you're always welcome here.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks for coming on, Edgar. And
for sure.
Those of you listening, go check out Edgar's podcast, Low Key Over It. He does it with a couple of mine and Tyler's other friends too. New episodes come out on Thursdays.
Yes, Thursdays at 11 Central. That's when our episodes come out, and you can follow us on Twitter at _it. We just like to talk a lot of shit, so
that's the best.
All right, guys. Now on to the NBA. Cody, what's going on?
Well, we finally have our first team to advance to the conference finals, and it looks like the LA teams are both about to advance to the conference finals. Well, there's a Game 7 coming up in the Boston Toronto series that should be interesting, as well as a superstar potentially moving teams.
Yeah, there's a lot to talk about. I want to start with the Heat. Heat just, wow. How impressive was that they not only beat the Bucks in 5 games, but they just completely handled them the whole series. It was amazing.
Yeah, they put them in their place, and the only thing that the Bucks really won was when Giannis went out of Game 4 with that injury. They won that game, and then he didn't play Game 5, and they lost.
Yeah, honestly, they played better without him. They did.
Yeah.
It was just more ball movement, more spread out scoring. I've been saying this for a while. It's just there's a lot of these players in the league that I call toxic players, not by personality, but just their play style. Giannis, Harden at times, Russ at times. There's other players like that, but
Russ right now.
Yeah, Russ right now. Any of these guys that they dominate the ball so much. Chris Paul, obviously, dominate the ball a lot, and they're kind of one-dimensional. James Harden is a little bit more, but like Giannis dominates the ball, and he just drives to the paint. He's not hitting threes for you at all.
Nope.
No, none. And it's just like possession after possession, he's dominating the ball. And what starts to happen is all the other guys, the 4 guys on the court, are just, they kind of have to start standing around, and like they're not getting kickouts from Giannis. So like it starts to slow down their game and their confidence and all those other things. It becomes more about Giannis and more about just one player, which you can't win playoff games like that. You just can't.
Yeah, I agree. But to that point, I still think Giannis needs an additional player with him because we've talked about it before. Chris Middleton's not a number 2 player. Like he's a good 3. Like on any of the Western Conference teams, he'd probably be the number 3 guy.
Yeah, I think Chris is a solid player. We've had this talk off air. I don't know who would play well with Giannis. I don't.
I think he and Luka would.
Yeah, you keep saying this, but it's like Giannis does not play well without the ball. The ball has to be in his hand. And also, if he goes to a team that's very much half court like the Mavs, that also slows down a lot of his game too, because a lot of his game is fast break.
You also have Rick Carlisle, who's one of the best coaches in the NBA, and you have Luka Doncic, who's one of the best passers in the NBA, and his basketball IQ is, for the most part, it's off the charts. He has times where he has brain farts, but it was only his second year. But Luka would help feed Giannis. Luka and Carlisle both would help feed Giannis into the fast break and stuff.
Yeah, the problem isn't that he's going to get fed. And first of all, they don't create a lot of fast breaks because they're a relatively slow team. But the problem,
adding Giannis would upgrade that, though.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, you still have to steal the ball and quickly move up the court, which they don't really do. Luka's pretty slow and methodic, but
yeah. But you pass the ball faster than you can run.
Yeah, but how often is Luka passing deep balls on the court? Not that often, right?
He doesn't really have anyone to do that with.
Yeah, so you're kind of making the argument that if Giannis is there, they will shift to making it work with him. I don't think that's the case. Carlisle's a great coach. Luka's a great player. I don't think Giannis is a very good teammate. I really don't. But we'll see where he ends up. If he does end up at the Mavs, maybe he'll prove me wrong. I doubt it.
If Giannis comes to Dallas, I think he's going to join the team knowing that he's going to be the 1B to Doncic's 1A.
See, I don't know about that. I feel he won the MVP, so would he not come in thinking, hey, I'm the 1A and he's the 1B? And would Luka not defer too? I feel like Luka would defer. Yeah,
Luka probably would defer. It'd be interesting to see how that dynamic plays out. But I think Giannis would know he'd have to sacrifice, similar to how KD did when he went to Golden State.
Yeah, and that kind of proves my point in that he did sacrifice a little bit, KD, but was Golden State, did they move the ball as well with KD there? Not really. There's a lot more ISO ball. But they were still one of the best offenses, but it's when you have all those great players on the same team, that's going to happen. But
Golden State still had more mouths to feed than the Mavericks. Clay, right? They had KD, Steph, and Clay, and
that was about it. It's you can't say they're trying to feed Draymond.
No, they were.
Draymond bricks out there.
When he was healthy, they tried to feed Cousins, and really the only reason the Warriors lost that last championship was because of injuries.
Yeah,
props to Toronto though, but I mean injuries really are what helped Toronto the most.
Yeah, absolutely. I was just saying, if you compare Golden State before KD and after KD, obviously they put up more points and percentages and all these other things, but it's if you just look eye test at how the team moved around and passed the ball and fed the ball, they were a lot better team before KD, obviously.
And Giannis would also fill another huge hole for the Mavericks defensively because they're a horrible defensive team. And the addition of Giannis, who's basically a guy that can guard any person on the court, would help them exponentially.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. That's where he would have a great role for them. It's just how would he fit with Luka? How would he fit in his system? Would he be willing to kind of share a little bit and not just play the same way he still plays?
So the way basically I think that you combat that is you really only have Luka and Giannis on the court together for about 12 minutes a game. you have one of them the entire first quarter, one for most of the second quarter, one for most of the third quarter, and then them together for like the last 6 minutes of the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I don't know if that's gonna happen either. They're two guys that play 40 minutes a game.
No, they would still play 40 minutes a game, 40 minutes or whatever a game, but it would just be spread out where one of them would get their rest while the other one's out on the court.
Yeah, they could make it like LeBron and AD, but still LeBron and AD are on the court a lot together. So finding that balance is important, but it's going to be hard if you're going to try to keep them separate the whole time, or if you keep them on the court all the time with each other. Yeah,
like Rick Carlisle was doing that with during Luka's rookie season with Dennis Smith Jr. His last few games with the Mavs before the Porzingis trade, he had Smith out there on the court, and he was running the offense. And while Luka's on the bench, like he had them start, and then after a few minutes, he'd bench one of them and then let them run the offense without the other one interfering, which eventually led to Smith being overvalued by the Knicks and getting Porzingis.
Well, any player to the Knicks is overvalued.
That's true.
But
very true.
We could go on about this debate, and obviously we're what's the phrase? We're pulling the cart before the horse, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Giannis hasn't signed with anyone yet, so they just lost. So we'll get to that later.
And this is definitely a debate we can circle back around on later.
Yeah, totally. Let's talk about I don't think we need to talk much about the LA teams. They've looked very dominant. Let's just talk briefly about the Toronto and Celtics series.
Ooh, it's been a fun series. When Toronto fell down 2-0, I thought it was over, but they've fought back and they've won 3 of the last 4, so forcing a game 7. Tonight's game was a great double overtime win for them. So
yeah, it was very exciting. Both teams, it's just like, I look at them, they're kind of similar in a lot of ways. They have so many guys that can step up and score 20 to 30 a night.
Yeah.
The hard thing for them is they'll have that, and then the rest of the guys won't score for that team, or they won't get help from the bench. So for both of them, they kind of have the same issues. It's just like they're very streaky. So Toronto started very poorly, and then all of a sudden they're on fire, and then they kind of fell off again. It's kind of the same with Celtics.
They're both kind of like the Mavericks.
Yeah, absolutely. Just I think they have more star players that have to share things. Yeah. And it's kind of, if you're looking at the Rockets series, it's like when you have some of these guys going cold like Russ, it's just all of a sudden deflates the whole team. Because it's more about individual players with these two teams. It's not, well, Toronto's I take that back. Toronto is, I'd say for the Celtics, is more about individual players.
Yeah, it's like who's going to have a big night and who's going to have a cold night. And what's going to help or hurt you the most.
I think going forward, like I've been rooting for Toronto because I think they have the best chance to challenge people in the West. I think if they win the game on what's today? Wednesday?
Yeah.
So Friday. If they win the game on Friday and they go play the Heat, I think if they beat the Heat, I still believe that they would be the best team to challenge the West. And I think they're a very good matchup against the Heat. I think the Heat have a lot of star players, but their defense is not quite on the same level as Toronto, and that will kind of be the difference.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's weird. I don't think this isn't really what we expected. West is clear cut. LA teams, one of them's gonna make it, but who thought that the Bucks would get knocked out, the Heat would make it, and then we could see the Heat against the Celtics. So we could lose the first and the second seeds just like that. It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, wild.
Yeah, it's nice to have competitive basketball back, not just Golden State, Cleveland every year. Yep. Freaking sucks.
Yeah, now it's just the battle for LA, and the winner's probably going to win the championship.
Yeah, let's we'll wrap it up this NBA show. But what do you think? If you had to pick one of the LA teams you think have the best chance against the Heat, Toronto, or the Celtics, which one would you choose?
Wait, what?
If you're picking one of the LA teams, like which one do you think has the best chance against the 3 remaining teams in the East?
Probably. I think the Clippers are the better of the 2 LA teams, but I think the way the Lakers match up against the Eastern Conference teams would give them an advantage.
Yeah, I think I agree. And that's the same thing in the Rockets game. Is everyone's talking about small ball against big ball, but like Lakers adjusted.
Yeah.
They didn't play their centers as much, and they did go a little bit smaller, but like they adjusted enough to keep their game, but also match up with the Rockets. I think it'd be the same with any of the teams they play out east. I think
Joe Gatto's done a good job for him.
He really has.
Yeah.
They got to, if they do go to the finals, Impractical Jokers has to get Joe Gatto on there right behind the coach.
Absolutely. No, they need to have him like on the fan cam right behind him. That'd be incredible.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Like, but instead of all those fans, just take them all out and just have a big video of him.
him eating pastries.
Exactly. Every time the other team is shooting free throws, he's just eating pastries right there.
His big eyes.
Exactly. Yep, totally. But NBA, pretty exciting right now. Still a few games left to kind of finish out the conference semis, and then we'll be conference finals soon. We're almost there. It was crazy. We didn't think NBA would happen. All of a sudden, we're getting close to the finals.
Yeah.
It's amazing. And it's been competitive. It's been great. So we're excited. We're excited for what's going to end up happening. We'll be keeping an eye on all that stuff. But yeah, that does it for NBA.
Well, that's about a wrap for all we have today. Ran a little long, but we had a whole lot to cover today. Unfortunately, we weren't able to get Q stories and a rant in, but those should be back next week. Other than that, thank you guys for listening. If you made it this far, we appreciate you. We appreciate you every week. Thank you guys for coming on every time. So come on back next week.
Shout out to Matt and Edgar for coming on the show. Make sure you check out Edgar's podcast, Low Key Over It.
Yeah, and follow them on Twitter. I think it's American Matt 7, and then I want to say the Real G Edgar or something like that.
I think it's the Real Edgar G.
Something along those lines. Also, follow us on social media at Texas 3-Step, like always. And then if you haven't listened to our podcast on YouTube, check that out. We got a lot of short videos on there. Make sure you hit the subscribe button to be up on the latest short content that you don't get on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. Yeah, definitely do that. And yeah, check us out next week. It'll be